Nah, what's up with it? As you can see, we getting straight into this video. If you're not familiar with this channel, I'm TK and this is Cuts by Kelly. In this video, I'm going to do a high taper fade, and he hasn't got his hair cut in a few months maybe, so he has a lot of new growth, and I'm just trying to figure out what hair I'm going to cut off here at the top to see if he's going to be retwisting some of this hair into his dreads. But the first step that I'm doing is just knocking down the weight. And something that I want to point out, I'm not going to do too much detail work on this haircut because I really want y'all to see how easy it is to do this fade process. So I knocked out the weight first, and you can see I'm setting my ball line. Then I'm going to start going through my steps. And the steps that I go through is I'm going to set the top line right here with the 1/16 guard. And notice I'm using the corner of my clipper so I can knock out the weight and also blend to the top. Okay. Now, like I said before, I was kind of unsure on what hair I was going to cut off up here at the top, but after I cut it down, then I wind up cutting the rest of it off right up into the roots of his dreads. So, but the steps are still the steps, and I want to point that out to you so you can understand how easy it is to do this process. So right now I have my guard off and my blade is all the way open, and from here I'm just gonna do my fading steps. I got my ball line at the bottom, my all the way open line in the middle, and then I use my 1/16 all the way open at the top. So right now I'm just fading out that middle line with the 1/16 guard on closed. Then I'm gonna open it 1/4 of the way and go up. And then I'm gonna open it 3/4 of the way and go up a little bit more. And that will leave me right underneath the top guideline that I set at the beginning. If you have any questions or if this is confusing to you, I encourage you to look at this video that I'm gonna leave this link on. It breaks down those notches on your clipper. It just breaks down these fading steps and makes it way more plain for you. As you can see, the top is pretty much faded. It's blended. It looks real good. Now we're going to do the same steps at the bottom. It's close, 1/4, 3/4, then open. But we're not going to use any guard. To fade the ball line or the bottom of the fade into the middle of the fade, we're going close, 1/4, 3/4, and open. And when we stop at open, it will be at the middle of the fade. The initial guideline that we set at the beginning, that's where we will stop at after we do this process. So right now I'm just doing a spot check, but like I said, I'm not doing too much of a spot check in this video or on this haircut, just so I can show you if you just do those fade steps and go through each level like 3 times at least, you'll get a decent blend. So we're about to repeat the same process here in the back and on the other side. So my first step, I'm setting my ball line, and then I'm gonna knock out the weight. I'm knocking out my weight with the 1/8 guard. Once I finish knocking out the weight, my next step is to set my middle guideline with all the way open and no guard on. Now that I have my guidelines, I have my ball line at the bottom, that line in the middle is set. Now I put on my 0 guard or my 1/16 guard, close, and I'm starting to fade up from the middle line. Each time I go up like an 1/8 to a 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just dividing each portion of that my fading steps into 4. So I'm going up a 1/4 of an inch, and then I open my blade to 1/4, and then I go up another 1/4 of an inch. Then I open it up to 3/4 of the way. Then I go up another 1/4 of an inch. I hope I'm making sense. I'm trying to break it down plain for you. So hopefully I'm not confusing you. But I just go up like that gradually, and that's how I'm doing my fading steps. After I do all my fading steps, I just go around and do a spot check. That's simply, if I see dark spots in the hair, in the fade or in the blend, I'm just going to those areas and getting those spots out. But since I know the levels, because I did my fading steps, I'll know exactly where I need to put my clipper or what guard I need to have on to knock out that spot. So again, we're going to repeat the same process here on this side, and hopefully the third time is the charm for you. You'll understand what I'm saying and the process that I'm doing. And note, I just want to bring this out too. As I'm fading, like in the back, I faded. I'm not finished with taking out the spots. I just went to the next side. Sometimes when you're fading, your eyes don't adjust right and you don't see the spots as good, so you need to take a break on it. Let's say that you take a break, so you do something else like a lining or some trim work, whatever, and then go back to that spot that you know you're not finished with. So that's what I'm doing. I just went to the other side. I'm starting my fade step, so you can see I have the blade a 1/4 of the way open, now 3/4 of the way open, and I'm working my way up. And like I mentioned at the beginning, all the bushy hair behind this ear, I'm going to cut down. Because on this side, I was able to see it a little more clearly where the dread ended and the new growth began. So I'm going to knock it down on this side, and then I'll go to the other side and knock that down as well. Let me point out the clippers that I'm using. It's the Gamma Protege. I did a unboxing and a review on these clippers, so you should check those videos out. I'll leave those links in the description. These clippers cut pretty good. I really like them. And then I have an adjustment on mine. I actually have the Wahl Senior ceramic blade, the cutting blade on there, and I have the Master fade blade on the top. So I'm able to use the double magnet guards for Andis, because I really like those guards, and it works out real good. The only thing is, it's a little bit loud now. Before it was more quiet, but since I made that adjustment, it's gotten louder. But it's not too loud to where I won't use them. I use them pretty much every day, almost all day now. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know the clippers that I'm using, how I modified them, but they work pretty good. So now I'm setting up for the lining. Just doing the prep work so I can line them up, and I'm knocking the hair down with the 1/8. So I went around the new grow and knocked it down like I told you, so you can see it. And like I said before, the fading steps are real simple, and you could virtually get a spotless blend, even if you're not that good, or your eyes haven't got that good with seeing the spots. So that's what I really want to point out in this video. The fade steps are real good, so you should try them, and it should help out with your blends. And you're going to do this fade step with any fade that you encounter: ball fade, low fade, high fade, mid fade, taper, whatever fade it is. You could do these same steps and you should get a good result. As promised, I'm going back and catch those spots that I missed earlier. And it's important to catch the spots if you see them, especially if they're obvious, because you don't want your client walking out with a subpar fade. Just because you might not be the best at what you're doing, you still can strive to be the best at it and get some nice haircuts out of it. And as you progress and develop in the craft, your fades and your blend will be even more seamless. So here I'm going around and doing the lining. Like I said, these are the Gamma Proteges. I got them 0 gap, and they line real good. They're real sharp. And so yeah, I really like these clippers. You should check them out. Now I'm about to go over the lining again. Typically what I do is I line them, then I put the enhancements on, then I go over the lining again. And the main reason for that is so I can have a good lining under the enhancements. So when the enhancements come out, it won't look like a horrible fade or a horrible lining. So it's important that you make sure you line them first before you do the enhancements, because like I said, that's one of the main reasons why people knock enhancements. They say you're covering up a haircut or a fade or whatever, but if you know what you're doing, you're going to do a good job on the fade before you do the enhancements, because the enhancements is just to upgrade the good job you already did. So yeah, I do the enhancements after I do the lining, and then I just go over it again just to top it off. So we're getting to the end of this video. If you're still here, I really appreciate you. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment if I leave anything out and you still have questions about my fading steps. But this is the finishing look. I hope you like it. If you do, like I said, make sure you subscribe. Also leave that in the comments if I explained it good enough and you understand what's going on and how to do these fading steps. But this is TK with Cuts by Kelly, and I appreciate you.